In Luke 16:1-7, the mystery of influence unfolds. There was a diverse thing, a possession of influence with the ability to muddle the human being. This fiscal agent, part of the mind, is a steward to the physical temple, called the strong man. But this diverse thing was stronger, and it did overcome all. A channeled action that influenced men to throw away substances, be it financial or physical labor, that in the end indebted all households. This enchantment could be called out by the sound of the voice, and the ear opens to understanding. The words of fire light, and the key words are tower up. Notice 7 times John says in the book of Revelations, "He that hath an ear, let him hear." Verse 2 in Luke 16 reads, "Give an account." No. It says, "Restore the mental faculties to the household, because you yet still are not captain of your ship." Verse 3 reads, "This influence speaks within, and when the Lord removes this steward, you won't need to dig." And this is physical, because the plowman surfaces the truth, and you don't beg in shame. This is the emotional, because as all good sons, you will not appear empty-handed. Verse 4, "You are resolved by an action that removes this head of household. They, or the entwined, may receive you into the refiner's house." Verse 5, "He calls every one of his father's debtors out." This is the twist. The first children saw this coming, a captivity void that prodigaled all, turning this mind space into a pig pen. Notice, this prodigal son squanders all of his possessions under this influence. His desire was to be restored. The possessions that awaited him, as all men, when they cross the finish, are demanded here and now by this influence. And the first sons were displeased of the second's return. Verse 5 continues, "And he turns to the first and said to the first," means the father told these children from the beginning of this captivity void of men, and they are morally obligated. You see, they were faced with a choice: interrupt this influence by fire, or merchandise men by marketing. And we know the choice they made. And this began back in the Babylonian era. The words tower up were created by the designer, an enchantment that influenced all men to serve the tower. Take a look around you today. You throw all of your substance, and the towers increase domination. The houses of God are the world's. Isaiah 55:2 says, "Wherefore do you spend money for that which is not bread?" So in this, move 3 verses upward. In verse 16 of the previous chapter, it says, "Behold, I have created the smith, that bloweth the coals in the fire, and brings forth an instrument of his work. For I have created in twine a waster and a destroyer, and there is no weapon formed that can prosper against this." This is the beast. So returning to Luke 16:5, how much does the first owe? "And he runs," is their response. The number 100 means infinitesimal. So they run when confronted with the debt that they owe. And the oil defines berries of the tree. Remember, outermost and uppermost of the tree. Because they run, a tally of record was fixed to them, 144,000, reduced by the number 50. Follow this in Luke 7:41-43. there was a certain creditor that had 2 debtors. One owed 500 pence, notice, the other 50. And when they had nothing to pay, or appear before him void of substance, the Black Book says, frankly, he forgave them both. But this makes no sense. Frankly, the word, it reads, they are drunk, found tipsy on wine, but choose to rescue remnants of them both. But which of them loved him most? Simon says, him that forgave the most amount. He says, you have judged properly. So notice, returning to Luke 16:6, the first children sit down quickly and write. The word bill in Greek is scripture. They hastily sat down tipsy and wrote into a book. And it all came out wrong. The second children, verse 7, are dry measures of wheat. They didn't sit and were not hasty, but lazy. They just took the writings for truth without questioning the bill. Scripture. Notice they both approach in confidence with 100 measures, meaning they stand at the door of eternity. But the big picture is they greatly are reduced by the refiner. The second children that don't run, the scripture is taken and refined to 80, not a number, but in response to the light, 4 heads are scored. Verse 8, and the Lord's distribution dome removes the captivity void of this mind space. The verse continues, the oppressors and extorters banded together this work of wisdom, called the Little Black Book. But a child, or a little one of this world, will be wiser, firstborn of this generate that processes, children of the light. This is food that I provided to my family for years. I want to now share it with you. Thank you for listening, and God bless you.